Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Johanna Chan. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. The ICAC is on the alert as the Legislative Council elections approach. Hong Kong's new bishop, Stephen Chow, appeals for unity. And visiting mainland Olympic gold medalists thrill their fans. With the Legislative Council elections round the corner, the ICAC has warned against violating polling laws. The anti-graft body is looking at an opinion poll which included a question on casting blank votes. Isaac Lee reports.
The Hong Kong Public Opinion Research Institute recently interviewed people on their voting preference in the Legislative Council elections on the 19th of this month. The survey became controversial as respondents were asked whether they would give up their right to vote or cast a blank ballot. ICAC Commissioner Simon Pear was evasive when asked whether the opinion poll broke election rules, which make it illegal to incite others to boycott the elections or cast a blank vote.
I'm not saying that offering such an option in the survey definitely against the law. But I don't know how they would ask the question, how they would collate the data, or how they would release the result.
But Pear said it is not illegal to cast a blank or invalid ballot if it is based on the voters' free will. For the first time since the handover, the government is setting up polling stations at 3 border checkpoints to encourage Hong Kongers living on the mainland to vote. Pear said the election ordinance also applies to regions outside Hong Kong, adding that mainland authorities have a mutual assistance scheme with the ICAC and would provide assistance if anyone breaks the law. Isaac Lee, HKIBC.
The government has marked Constitution Day by saying the national security law has helped Hong Kong move forward. Ministers and mainland officials also stressed that the city has a brighter future.
Speaking at the 5th annual seminar marking Constitution Day, the chief executive said the national security law has enabled the government to fully enforce the one country, two systems principle, following the unrest that gripped the city over national education, Occupy Central, and the anti-extradition protests. In the online forum, Carrie Lam said the Constitution is the legal foundation of the Basic Law and the SAR.
非常时刻，中央果断出手。
Liaison Office Director Luo Huining told the online seminar that the protests had threatened national security, and the mainland will take action when necessary to fill in the gaps in the legal system. He added that Hong Kong is improving and will have a brighter future. Earlier today, RTHK, the Basic Law Foundation, and the United Youth Association held a flag-raising ceremony at the Police College in Wong Chuk Kang.
愛國者治港已經成為今日香港嘅主旋律。
Police Commissioner Raymond Siu said patriots ruling Hong Kong has become the main theme. He said officers have the sacred responsibility to protect the nation's sovereignty, safety, and development. Government ministers took to their blogs to add their views. Chief Secretary John Lee said civil servants, teachers, and students will be given enhanced education on the Constitution, the Basic Law, and national security. Justice Chief Teresa Cheng said the national security law has helped improve the electoral system and reflected the fundamental system.
Hong Kong's new Catholic bishop, Stephen Chow, has been consecrated at a mass celebrated at the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception. Cardinal Zhang Tong led the ceremonies in the Mid-Levels Cathedral. Chief Executive Carrie Lam, who's a Catholic, was among those present. Chow, who is regarded as a moderate, said after his consecration that he hopes to unite a society divided by politics. He added that young people are the pillars of any social group. They should be given room to express themselves, he said, and be able to find a clear goal for the future. Hong Kong is adding Mexico to the list of high-risk countries on Tuesday after the Omicron COVID variant was found there. The SAR recorded 4 imported cases today, all infected with the L452R strain. One is a 30-year-old foreign domestic helper from Indonesia who arrived last Sunday. She tested positive while in quarantine at the Rambler Garden Hotel in Tsing Yi. The other 3 patients arrived from Britain and the United States. All were fully vaccinated. Hong Kong has now gone 57 days without a local infection. As Omicron continues to sweep across the world, scientists are learning more about the new variant. There are indications that the highly mutated strain is able to evade natural immunity and is spreading faster than other variants. Sarah Wang reports.
Omicron has breached the COVID defense of over 38 countries, with Mexico and Australia among the latest to detect the variant. Scientists are getting a fuller picture about the variant with over 30 mutations on its spike protein. It is believed to have picked up genetic material from the virus causing the cold, and thus is more likely to evade natural immunity. That also means it's easier for Omicron to infect recovered COVID patients. Recent analysis suggested it is spreading twice as quickly as the Delta variant in South Africa, where the new strain was first reported last week. But is still not sure how much Omicron can blunt the immunity offered by current vaccines, or whether milder diseases will follow.
Everybody who is infected with SARS-CoV-2, regardless of what variant, will always start out with a mild disease. But it may stop with mild disease, or it may take some time to develop severe disease.
At the beginning, when a new variant arrives, it tends to spread most quickly in those people who are mixing most socially. And in South Africa, that was mainly younger people.
But the World Health Organization noted that there hasn't been reports of deaths caused by the potent variant. Economists, meanwhile, warned of a rocky year ahead for the global economy as Omicron thwarted confidence and reopening plans. Sarah Wang, HKIBC.
Police in the U.S. state of Michigan have arrested the parents of a teenager accused of shooting dead 4 fellow students. James and Jennifer Crumbly have been charged with involuntary manslaughter for ignoring an alarming note allegedly written by their son.
The note contained the following: a drawing of a semi-automatic handgun pointing at the words, quote, "The thoughts won't stop, help me," end quote. In another section of the note was a drawing of a bullet with the following words above that bullet, quote, "blood everywhere," end quote.
15-year-old Ethan Crumbly was charged as an adult with murder and terrorism. His father bought him a semi-automatic pistol, which was used in the shooting rampage. The Crumblys disregarded warnings from Ethan's teacher, who caught him searching for bullets online. The couple also failed to disclose during a school meeting immediately before the shooting that the boy had access to a gun. China has hailed its political system as genuine socialist democracy. In a white paper, the State Council stressed that only China's citizens can pass judgment on its politics. Sarah Wang reports.
The West often portrays China as an authoritarian superpower and accuses the communist rulers of oppression. But Beijing is proud of its political and social systems, hailing them as models of socialist democracy, and says they truly work. In a white paper, the State Council said the Communist Party has always upheld the principle of people decide during its century-long leadership. All 1.4 billion Chinese, the paper said, are engaged in a high-quality electoral and consultation democracy, which is not contradictory to one-party rule. The document took a swipe at the West, saying whether a country is democratic should not be dictated by a handful of nations.
It divides countries into different levels of hierarchy, labels them as democratic or undemocratic, and point fingers at other countries' democratic systems. Transatlantic democracy does not work, and countries should not be lectured about how to build their own democracy.
The white paper was published just days before the United States hosts a summit for democracy. China and Russia have not been invited, but Taiwan is among the 110 delegations, which the White House says will discuss how to defend against authoritarianism and protect human rights. The head of the Western Alliance, NATO, meanwhile, raised concerns about illiberal trends, even in established democracies. Jens Stoltenberg said the U.S. Capitol riot on January 6 is a warning that democracy is backsliding around the world. Sarah Wang, HKIBC.
On to the weather now. Tomorrow morning will be cool, becoming fine and dry later in the day. Temperatures will range between 17 and 22 degrees. Similar conditions early next week. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Saturday night. Stay tuned for more news at 10, followed by a live Bundesliga match between Mainz and Wolfsburg. I'm Johanna Chan. Thanks for watching. Good evening.